Most people assume that not liking dogs is a red flag, a lack of warmth, empathy, or emotional depth. Liking dogs is so common that disliking them almost feels taboo. But psychology suggests something very different. Have you ever wondered why some people don't feel charmed by wagging tails, excited greetings, or unconditional affection? Why the thing that brings others joy brings you tension, irritation, or even discomfort? The psychology of people who don't like dogs has little to do with the dogs themselves. It's shaped by deeper traits: boundaries, sensitivity, past experiences, emotional regulation styles that most people never notice. Before judging someone's reaction to dogs, it's worth understanding what their mind is actually responding to. One of the most common reasons people don't like dogs has nothing to do with personality. It's rooted in sensory sensitivity. Dogs are unpredictable. Sudden barks, fast movements, wet noses, jumping, licking, the constant demand for touch. To a sensitive nervous system, this isn't cute. It's overstimulation. If you've ever felt tense the moment a dog runs toward you, that reaction isn't a flaw. It's your body trying to protect itself from sensory overload. Some people relax around high-energy animals. Others feel their system tighten without meaning to. This trait doesn't mean someone dislikes connection. It simply means their nervous system needs a calmer environment to feel safe. Not everyone feels comfortable with the kind of closeness dogs naturally bring. Psychology calls this a boundary-oriented personality, where a person feels safest and most regulated when physical space, emotional cues, and social rhythms are respected. Dogs, however, express affection through closeness, leaning, nudging, climbing onto laps, following you from room to room. For someone with strong boundaries, this can feel invasive rather than comforting. If you've ever felt a subtle tension when a dog pushes into your space, that reaction isn't coldness. It's your internal system signaling that connection works differently for you. People with boundary-oriented personalities aren't avoiding love. They're preserving the structure that helps them function. Another reason someone might feel uneasy around dogs comes from their emotional regulation style, the way they manage internal feelings. Dogs express emotion openly and intensely: joy, fear, excitement, attachment. For someone who regulates emotion by keeping things steady and contained, this level of raw expression can feel overwhelming. Freud once suggested that people differ in how much emotional intensity they can comfortably let in, and modern psychology still sees this pattern today. Some minds stay balanced through calmness. Others can absorb big emotional swings without stress. Being overwhelmed by a dog's enthusiasm doesn't mean you dislike warmth. It simply reflects an emotional system that prefers a quieter signal. Some people struggle with dogs for a very simple psychological reason. They have a predictability preference, a trait where comfort comes from knowing what's about to happen next. Dogs, meanwhile, operate on their own internal rhythm. They can go from resting peacefully to full Olympic sprint because a shadow dared to exist. To a person who values order, that kind of spontaneity feels less comforting and more like living with a very over-enthusiastic alarm system. If you've ever tensed up because you didn't know whether a dog was about to lick you, bark, or proudly bring you something you never asked for, that's predictability preference at work. It's not about rejecting dogs. It's about craving a world with fewer surprises. Discomfort around dogs can also come from something much quieter: past experience imprints, emotional traces left by earlier interactions. These don't have to be dramatic. A tense childhood encounter, a sudden bark at the wrong moment, or simply growing up in a home where animals weren't part of daily life can shape how your nervous system responds as an adult. The mind learns safety patterns early, so if dogs once felt unpredictable or unfamiliar, your body may still react as though you're meeting a potential threat, even when nothing is wrong. You might not remember the original moment, but your body does. These imprints don't define you, but they explain why comfort doesn't always come naturally. Not liking dogs doesn't make someone cold, distant, or difficult to connect with. It simply means their mind responds to the world in a different way, through boundaries, sensitivity, predictability, or past experiences that shaped how they feel safe. So consider this. When you meet someone who doesn't love dogs, do you judge their reaction? Or do you try to understand the psychology beneath it? Many of the traits you've heard today, sensitivity, identity boundaries, emotional regulation, also appear in people who don't follow trends. If that parallel interests you, the video on trend-resistant personalities explores it further. Your preferences don't make you less human. They reveal the way your mind stays balanced in a world that moves loudly.